why eating more could be the game changer you've been waiting for in your weight loss journey.
Why?
Now, I know you're probably confused. As you know, most of my students, most people I talk to are very confused. Like, I want to lose weight. Why the hell would I eat more? Typically what happens, and you're probably seeing a plateau, typically around, you lose 10, 15% of your weight loss. Somewhere around there, your progress is going to start to slow down, right? And usually what happens, and it's exactly where she was back in the day, you come down to this point, and typically the way you get there is by eating less, going super low calorie, and then you're doing cardio, right? Typically like an hour of cardio. So you get to this point now, and you've lost, let's say you came into this journey, you want to lose 40 pounds, right? You've lost 20 pounds, and you're doing an hour of cardio a day, and you've cut your calories down. Let's say you cut your calories down to like 1,200 calories, right? So you got the 20 pounds of weight loss. You're like, all right, great. Everything's working perfect. All I got to do is keep doing this, and I'm going to keep seeing 20 pounds of weight loss in the same amount of time. Wrong. So typically what happens is you come into this situation, you'll stop seeing weight loss, and then you're like, okay, well, now it's not working anymore. So you'll think the same way you thought when you came into this. You're like, okay, so if I eat even less or I do more cardio, then I'm going to keep seeing weight. So what you'll do is you'll go from 1,200 calories. Now you go down to 800 calories, 900 calories. And now you're eating nothing, right? You're starving. And you've gone from an hour of cardio to maybe 2 hours of cardio, hour and a half of cardio. And you probably will see 5 to 10 pounds more weight loss. But what kind of life is that to live? Like, now you got to eat 900 calories and do an hour and a half, 2 hours of cardio just to maintain. Keep in mind, you still haven't lost that final 10 pounds. Just to maintain where you're at. Now, let's say you were very, very consistent with this for 3 months, right? 4 months. You were consistent with this. And now all of a sudden, let's say you get sick or family party comes up, whatever it is, you fall off track. Now you're not hitting that every single day. Maybe you ate some more calories, right? Now your body has adapted, and it told you it's adapted because you hit a plateau. You're not losing any more weight. So that's your body telling you like, yo, we're good here. We're not losing any more weight. This is our safety net. We're not losing anything else. We're perfect right here. So now you've had life events, you're eating more. Now you're starting to notice like, damn, I'm gaining weight, but I'm doing the same things I was doing back in the past. But your body's now adapted to that. So it's not going to get the same response as it did the first time. So now you get very, very frustrated. You're like, it's not working for me anymore. And then, so there's either two type of people. There's one type of person who's just going to give up and get super frustrated with it. And then there's a type A type of person like, I need to do more. I'm going to go more extreme. So I'm going to eat even less. I'm going to eat even less than that. I'm going to do more cardio. And then this type of person just gets lost in this cycle. But it's no life to live. That's not sustainable, right? So the way to overcome this is at that first time you came down, right? Reverse dieting back up to maintenance for a while. I would say 4 to 6 weeks. Get back up there so you can eat more calories but maintain the weight that you're at. And the way you're going to do this is by strength training, resistance training. While you're starting to add your calories back up, you're probably going to see some muscle gain during this time. You're probably going to put on some weight on the scale during this time, which a lot of people is like, I don't want to put on any more weight. I just lost 20 pounds. I don't want to go back in that direction. But if you put on some muscle at this point, you're buying some allowance for yourself to now eat more calories, right? So now if you can eat more calories, and let's say this time when you cut down, you can do it at 1,500 calories instead of 1,200 calories. That's much more sustainable, right? So this is the process that you go to for sustainable weight loss. So that's why I always say, if you want to see weight loss in the beginning, fine, but we want to be able to, at some point, to focus on building muscle so that we can start to boost your BMR, boost your metabolism, so that when we cut, we don't got to do it at 500 calories. We don't got to do it at 1,200 calories. When she first came into this, she, cut at 1,200 calories. And what happened?
Yeah, after breastfeeding, I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. But I mean, you were doing that because you were breastfeeding at the time. But I mean, even back before that.
Back when I first started my fitness journey, I was at 1,200 calories, eating like bland chicken breast, 2 tablespoons of rice. And I went to LA. I did that for 3 months consistently. I saw results. I got skinny, not a lot of muscle, and then went to LA, gained the weight. I think I gained like 15 pounds.
In 1 week. 1 week, right? We were here.
I think so.
We were eating In-N-Out.
I gained so much weight. I was like, I didn't even know it was possible to gain that much weight in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even eating that crazy. I just had some In-N-Out.
Right. So think of it this way, right? So if let's say there's two people, right? The two people are both 200 pounds. Person A has, let's say person A cut down to 200 pounds and they did it by eating 1,200 calories to get there, right? So they're just maintaining that 200 pounds by eating 1,200 calories. Let's say person B is 200 pounds, but they bulked up to get there. Let's say they're eating somewhere around 3,000 calories, right? So person A is eating 1,200, person B is eating 3,000. Now let's say these two people now go out to eat, right? Let's say they go to Cheesecake Factory and they both get meals that they would normally get. And let's say the calories that they ate during that day was 2,000 calories on top of whatever else they ate. Stay with me. This is a lot of math right now. So person A has a 2,000 calorie meal. Person A is in a surplus now at a 2,000 calorie meal, but they ate the same exact meal as person B, who is now, he's technically in a deficit. He has 3,000 calories that his body can burn. So technically he can eat even more to get up to his maintenance level. But this other person is like, man, I ate the same thing as you, but somehow I put on a couple pounds. But it's like your metabolism wasn't built for that. So that's why when people get into this journey and they don't focus on building their metabolism, building the amount of muscle they have, but they're comparing themselves to other people who are maybe the same weight, eating the same foods, but they're seeing that the other person is much better at burning these calories. So just like you, when you first lost, the initial weight after pregnancy, you were 140 at the time, right? And you lost weight, but your maintenance at that time was like 1,400 calories. Now you were 140 pounds, maintenance is 2,200 calories. Very, very different in what you're allowed to eat now, because now you can go out, we can have a cheat day, we can have In-N-Out, we can have ice cream, because it's not putting you into a surplus anymore, because now your body's much better at handling the calories in excess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So a lot of people, we were talking to, one of our teammates, his cousin was going through this process, right, of trying to lose weight. For a 200-pound guy, he's similar to my size, was losing weight, was seeing progress. My sister's friend, same thing, lost 20 pounds. She's like, I'm gonna just stick to this, right? But as you go through this, if you stay at that, that's just where you're gonna be. That's where your progress is gonna stop. You're not gonna continue getting stronger. You're not gonna continue getting toned. You're not gonna continue leaning out, because when you lose the weight, you didn't keep any muscle. You lost muscle and fat. So that's where that whole skinny fat term comes from too. When people lose weight, a lot of times they're disappointed because they're like, okay, I lost weight, but I didn't really get as toned as I want to look. So being toned, just like I talked about in the other video, being toned is just revealing the muscle that you have underneath. So if you go into this severe deficit, your body doesn't really know the difference. It's going to start paring down muscle and fat. And if you lose both at the same rate, your body's still going to look the same. It's just going to be a smaller version of the self that you were before. So when you come into this journey, you're trying to tone up, it's best to have some muscle underneath for the reasons I explained before, being able to eat much more food, but also when you look at yourself in the mirror, how your clothes are fitting, all these type of things, it's good to have that muscle underneath. How you would get this done properly is, let's say you went on this diet, right? What you want to do is reverse diet out of that. So you can add, 150 calories to 200 calories on a week or bi-weekly basis, depending on how your body's acting. But what you want to be able to see over time is that you're not putting on a ton of weight. You're kind of just floating around that same number as you're doing it, allowing your body to accept these calories before you go back into that next cut. And if you are looking to gain weight, or go on a bulk like she was, I think your first time bulking. My
first time bulking, I was eating 2,600 calories. That was when we were living in Altadena. I thought I gained a lot of muscle. Like my ass looked really good. It looked really good. I'm going to show you guys a picture and I was like, wow, this is going to stay. But it didn't. It didn't stay. That butt that I thought I built since I dirty bulk, it didn't stay. It was really nice during the bulk. I remember gaining some stomach fat too. And I thought the ass was going to stay. But the minute I started cutting too, it went away.
Yeah, so when you do go into a bulk or a calorie surplus, you don't want to do it the dirty way where you're just eating everything you see. You still want to eat pretty healthy. You just want to be able to add those calories. Like when I first bulked for the first time back when I was, I guess I won't say it for the first time, but that was the first time I did it with like a meal plan. So in high school, I was dirty bulking all the time just because I was young. I didn't know anything. I also wasn't cooking my own food. So that looked one way. But on the other side, when I was in college, I had this friend at the time who had just signed to the NFL, but I saw this crazy transformation that he went to when he showed up for his pro day. He came back, he was ripped, and I was like, damn, I got to do that. So I was like, I hit him up. I was like, yo, send me over your meal plan that you had, and I'm going to do that coming into spring ball this time. So when I did it, like I didn't take into account anything about the BMR. I didn't take it into account how many calories he was burning versus how many calories I was burning, how much muscle he had versus how much muscle I had. So I was just eating the foods that he was eating, or I was trying to. I was eyeballing things. I wasn't really weighing properly. I had my sister cooking the meals. Looking back at it now, I was probably in 1,000, 1,500, somewhere in that area surplus, which is a lot. So that's why I was able to go from 220 to 245 in a few months, but it was not pretty. I mean, I put on a lot of fat. I slowed down a lot. I did get crazy strong though, but I put on a lot of fat during this time, and it didn't really look how I expected it to look. So then I reversed, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of all this weight now. So then I went into a deficit after that and decided I wanted to cut. And what I noticed was when I cut, number one, it was much, much easier. I didn't have to starve myself to get there. I was still eating a lot of food. I was just making better choices. But when I did cut, I had a lot more muscle left over than I did where I started. I cut down to about the same weight, but it looked totally, totally different. So I started at 220, I went up to 245, and I cut back down to 220. But the 220 after I bulked versus the 220 where I started was two totally, totally different people. I had abs. I was very much cut in the body that I was in when I cut down. So that's why I think there's a lot of value in going on a bulk or going into a surplus, especially if you've been under eating for a long time, when it comes to, you know, trying to achieve the body that you're trying to achieve. If you feel like this might be you, if you feel like, you know, I lost a bunch of weight, but now I hit a plateau, let us know down in the comments or message, you know, one of the two of us on Instagram so we can get you some help. But just know you're not alone. A lot of people get confused by this whole process.
Yeah, a lot of people get scared by the bulk. Sometimes I still get a little scared because I'm like, what? I gotta eat 2,600 calories.
When you listen to it, it doesn't really it's not gonna land right away until you really know the background of it. It's like, if I want to lose weight, why would I eat?
Yeah, I was telling him that. I'm like, why are we increasing my calories if I'm trying to lose weight?
Yeah, it's very confusing, but there's a reason behind it, and I just explained it. So, see you next time. So this round, take the magic pill, take the magic
I wanted the easy
detox tea.
Yeah, I wanted it the fast, easy way, the fastest way to be skinny in literally just a week or a couple of days. I was literally drinking that tea every day, and it would make my stomach hurt so bad. I'd be in the toilet like this, and